The diner was alive with chatter, the scent of fried bacon clinging to the air when an old man shuffled through the door. His boots were cracked, weathered, and caked with years of dust, boots that looked like they had walked through storms and deserts alike. Teenagers at the counter nudged each other, whispering loud enough for others to hear. "Look at those relics. Did he crawl out of a museum?" Laughter followed, sharp and cruel, as the man lowered his eyes, pretending not to notice. But his trembling hands betrayed him, tightening around the strap of his worn satchel. "Before I tell you what happened next, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I love knowing who's listening." The man chose a corner booth, quiet, away from their stares. Yet the whispers followed him like a shadow. He remembered other days, days when those boots had stepped across battlefields, when they had been soaked in mud and blood, carrying him through nights he prayed he'd survive. Now they only carried ridicule. His chest tightened. He wondered, not for the first time, if the sacrifices he and his brothers made had truly been remembered, or if time had erased it all. A hush spread across the diner. At first, no one understood why. Then they saw him, a tall man in uniform, broad-shouldered, the trident insignia gleaming faintly on his chest. A Navy SEAL, home from deployment, scanning the room with eyes that had seen too much. He noticed the laughter, the hunched figure in the booth, and then his gaze dropped to the old, battered boots. He froze, the air shifted. Forks paused midair. Even the jukebox seemed to fall silent. The SEAL walked forward, boots striking the tile in measured rhythm, each step commanding attention. The teenagers' smirks faded, unease crawling up their spines. They knew they had mocked, but they didn't yet know whom. The SEAL stopped at the old man's booth. For a heartbeat, no one moved. Then, without a word, he straightened, brought his hand to his brow, and saluted. A crisp, reverent gesture that cut through the tension like a blade. Gasps rippled across the diner. The old man's eyes widened, moisture gathering as memories surged. Brothers in arms, nights under gunfire, the sound of prayers whispered into helmets. He shook his head, whispering hoarsely, "Son, you don't need to." But the SEAL didn't waver. His voice was low, steady, carrying the weight of truth. "Sir, those boots carried more honor than any of us could ever repay." The teenagers shrank in their seats, faces pale with shame. Their laughter felt like ashes now, their mockery exposed in the stark light of respect. Moral weight hung heavy in the room. Who among them had the right to judge a man who had carried burdens they could never imagine? The old man rose slowly, his knees unsteady, but his spirit rising taller than the years had allowed. The SEAL extended his hand, and when their palms met, it was not just a handshake. It was a bridge across generations, a moment of recognition carved into silence. The crowd erupted, not in laughter this time, but in applause, hesitant at first, then building like a wave crashing against the shore. Tears slipped down the old man's face. He had walked into the diner invisible, but now he stood seen, honored, remembered, because kindness doesn't vanish. It waits, and it finds its way back. And in that small-town diner, the cracked boots that once carried him through war carried him once more, this time, into the hearts of strangers who would never forget. If this story touched you, share your thoughts below. And if you believe in honoring those who walked before us, make sure to subscribe for more stories that keep their spirit alive. Your support means more than you know.